Baptism is not our promise to God. It is God's promise to us. Before we could speak, before we could choose, before we could serve or understand theological concepts, God claimed us. Not because we were faithful, because we were loved. That is why we baptize children. Not because they understand what's happening. Not because they can articulate faith. Not because they have proven anything. We baptize them because baptism tells the truth about God before it tells the truth about us. Let me say it again. Baptism tells the truth about God before it tells the truth about us. Baptism declares that grace of God comes first. That belonging comes before believing. That God's yes is spoken long before we learn how to respond. When we baptize a child, we are not guessing at their future faith. I cannot guess. I just do. We are trusting God's faithfulness upon this baby, upon this kid. We are saying that this child's life begins not with achievement, but with a promise. And perhaps that is why child baptism can be so quietly unsettling. It refuses to let us believe that faith begins with decision or maturity or understanding. But child baptism reminds us that all of us, no matter how long we have been faithful, still live by grace that arrived before we are ready for it. My friends, again, Jesus' baptism, this story shows us what God is always doing. Naming, claiming, delighting before anything else begins. And friends, that is the good news. It is good news for those who are tired. If you are tired following Jesus, I hope this is good news for you. If you are tired, non-Christians trying to follow Jesus, this is good news for you. Good news for those whose faith feels quiet rather than triumphant. Good news for those who keep showing up even when joy feels thin. God's pleasure doesn't depend on how strong your faith feels this week or next week. God's love doesn't fluctuate with your energy, your clarity, or certainty. Jesus will go on to teach. Jesus will go on to heal. Go on to confront injustice. Go on to walk the road of suffering. But He does not do any of that to earn Father's love. He does it grounded in it. And that same grounding is offered to us. So the invitation today is not to do more. The invitation is to remember. To remember that beneath our habits, our responsibilities, beneath years and years of service and faithfulness, there is still a voice that speaks over us, a voice that doesn't say, keep it up or try harder, but a voice that says, you are mine. I take delight in you. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and believe that you are His. And God takes delight in you. Before you volunteer again, before you commit something this year to serve God's cause or God's mission through St. Andrews, before you make another commitment, before you carry another burden, before you do anything, God has already spoken. You are mine. I delight in you. And perhaps the practice this week is simple and quiet, but powerful in the long run. It's a good investment for your soul. To live one ordinary day, not trying to earn God's pleasure, but trusting that it is already given. To pray, to serve, to love one another, not out of pressure, out of belonging. That is where faith rests. That is where baptism roots us. And that is the peace of God that God offers to faithful people who are still walking the road of faithfulness. And trust me, along the way, you will be a happy Christian. Isn't it wonderful to witness to the world that we are happy Christians? We are not Christians who are, downers Christians, look sad all the time. Going to the church looks. We are happy Christians. That's a great testimony to the world. Let us pray.